Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to Man Cave Meals. Today we're going to make a little bit of homemade beef jerky. So let's get things going. First thing we're going to do is make a marinade for our beef jerky, and you can make any kind of marinade you like. You don't have to make mine. You can search the internet and there are just thousands and thousands of marinade recipes for jerky. But if you'd like to try this one, feel free. We're going to start out with 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 of a cup of teriyaki sauce, and my teriyaki sauce just happens to have sesame seeds in it, 1/2 cup of Worcestershire sauce, 1/4 of a cup of balsamic vinegar, 1/2 of a cup of brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and then about 1 1/4 cups of pineapple juice. And I'm just going to whisk all this together until that sugar is dissolved. And now that that's dissolved, I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator and let that chill while we get everything else ready. Okay, what I've got here is a eye of round roast. This is a really good cut for making beef jerky. You can use top round, bottom round, London broil, whatever you want. You just want something that's fairly lean. And what we're going to do to begin with here is I'm going to trim as much of this fat off the outside as I can. Okay, now that I've got most of the fat trimmed off the outside of that, I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag, and we're going to put it in the freezer for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes to let it firm up, and then we're going to bring it back out, and we're going to get the meat slicer out and slice this up. Okay, I'm going to slice this with my meat slicer, and we're going to go against the grain rather than with the grain. You can do that either way you prefer also. Now what I like to do is take these flat slices that I have and just cut them into strips like that, and we're going to toss them in our bowl here. And after I get these cut up, we'll come back and put them in the marinade. Now that I have all that meat stripped up, we're going to dump our marinade in here with it. And I'm just going to work this in. I'm going to mix this by hand a little bit to get that meat, get all this meat completely covered with this marinade. And then this is I'm gonna cover this up in plastic wrap. I'm gonna put it back in the refrigerator, and you'd want to let this go for a minimum of 8 hours, and probably up to you could go up to 24 hours on it. But I would let it go at least 8, and maybe once or twice during that period I'd reach in and give it a little hand mix just like this. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge, and we'll be back tomorrow to put it on the smoker. Okay guys, I've drained all the marinade off of this jerky, and I've loaded up the top rack fully and part of the bottom rack of the Yoder YS640, and I've got the Yoder running about 160, 165, so we're going to close this up and let it go for about 5 hours. Okay guys, we're about done here. I'm going to open this up and we're going to have a look. I've already taken the jerky off the bottom rack. The bottom rack got done a little quicker, so it's been off for a little while. So we've been going about 3.5 hours here, and I'm pretty happy with the consistency that we have on this based on how thick I sliced it, which was about 1/8 of an inch. So that worked out well. I'm going to pull this off, and we're going to just let it come to room temperature before we do anything else. Okay guys, I've let this equalize to room temperature, which is what I like to do before I package this. I like to take this jerky and make individual packets out of it, and I like to vacuum seal those where I can keep them for a really long time. You don't need to refrigerate this. It'll keep for several weeks, and it'll stay good in a vacuum seal bag. So give this a try. Let me know what you think. There's a lot of possibilities with this. There's a lot of different ways you can marinate this. I just like the soy and teriyaki and pineapple myself. I also occasionally like to toss in a little bit of cayenne pepper on that. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Until next time, this is John Setzler with Man Cave Meals.